Greetings, my dear friends. Meet Shakti and Shiva, a sweet couple who will be telling you today about the power of a woman. In 2025, a woman who knows this secret will undoubtedly be successful, or will guaranteedly ruin her life simply because she does not know this secret. 5 minutes of time and luck is in your pocket. What do you say? Then give a like to the video and I will begin. We are all used to the idea that the fulfillment of wishes, dreams, and the formation of our reality happens due to some magical properties of nature and some magical messages that we send to the universe, which materializes them for us. And in fact, this sounds really like that for small children. In reality, I will reveal a little secret to you. Magic and wizardry not exist. There is knowledge or the absence of knowledge. And those who do not know the basic principles of physics, chemistry, quantum mechanics, who do not understand how the laws of nature work, and our body relies on the idea that when I launch a balloon into the sky with my dream, that dream will definitely come true. This naivety has its place, and it can indeed be realized if, again, you understand the chemistry or alchemy of life that occurs through your body. And when you understand this, you can make it a quite manageable process. And for this, you do not need to go through desire marathons. It is enough to know physics, chemistry, quantum mechanics, to do certain things every day so that your life changes exactly as you want it to. The gift of materialization belongs to the feminine nature, and this is very well observed in nature itself. We all know that the laws of physics, chemistry, biology, and quantum mechanics are derived from nature. Scientists study nature, observe nature, and make discoveries that allow them to direct knowledge into the productive spheres of human life and invent such wonderful things as the internet, airplanes, cars, and many other things we have invented thanks to the repetition of Mother Nature's actions. A body's volume or mass equals some energy invested in this mass. When energy, the body mass, is invested in this mass, it is wet. It is wet. It is wet because 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 it is wet. It consists of energy, that is, a certain volume, or mass of a body is equal to some volume of energy that is invested in this mass. When the energy of the victim, Financial Joe, leaves the mass dries up, it loses its weight and can eventually disintegrate completely into microelements or even atoms. A good example is an apple that sits on the table for a long time, losing its mass due to the evaporation of water and essentially losing energy. In the end, we can get a dried apple, and if we bury this apple in the ground, the apple will give all its energy to the earth, break down into microelements, and become a nutrient medium to grow whatever has fallen into the ground, like a seed. The same thing happens in our lives. Every woman is a mother by her nature and essence. And right now, I ask you to be as attentive as possible. To understand how you, my dear girls, wonderful women, are capable of materializing everything you desire in your lives, I will explain how the mechanism works. You will be able to check how it works by analyzing your life. That is, where did you do what I told you? And how it manifested in your life. And start doing what I tell you and see how it will manifest in your life. So, in order for something to happen in our lives, we first use information, that is, another form of the material world, which does not yet have density, but has a certain structure. Information in our heads primarily arises as a thought. For example, I might have an idea right now that I want to make borscht. If I know how to make borscht, then the following thoughts immediately arise in my head about how I can do it right now. It's the result of the usual efforts and ingredients I have on hand. If I don't know how to make borscht, then ideas will arise in my head about how I can learn to make borscht and eventually prepare it. There is information. There is my attention that I directed to this information. There is the energy that I spent on this information. There is the initiation of behavior, a specific physical effort that leads to a result. And now the borscht from my head is already turning into a pot of borscht on my stove. As for the more complex things that we just want to manifest in our lives, for example, I want a Bentley right now. Of course, I can't just go and buy a Bentley right now simply because I don't have enough funds in my account. Or I want to build a relationship with the young man of my dreams. But there is not a single young man of my dreams next to me. Basically, I don't know what to do with what I want. And my want can stop exactly at what I tell myself, but, maybe not in this life or not this time. I can always limit myself in the idea that I want to start the process of manifesting my desires in my life right now, simply because I have the assumption that it is unacceptable, impossible, and unrealistic for me, based on everything I know about myself, my financial, physical, social capabilities, and so on. And in this case, the following story happens. I'll illustrate with the example of borscht. The thought came to my mind, want borscht. I came up with reasons why I can't make borscht. Put up a barrier, and there was no borscht in the pot on my stove. Can you imagine? For our consciousness, there is no difference between making borscht or buying a Bentley. For our consciousness, there are no barriers if we do not impose these barriers on our consciousness. There is physics, chemistry, and mechanics of realization, and it is the same everywhere. Therefore, a woman's gift to manifest the desired into reality lies in the fact that when a thought enters a woman's mind, she must know that she is a woman, not just a thought. With the power of materialization, the power of Mother Earth, the power that thoughts have, for example, God, I have no money to pay the mortgage, I will be taken out of the apartment, I will lose my job, something like that. If a thought enters a woman's mind and she starts to perceive it, she begins to perceive that, God, I have no money to pay the mortgage, I will be taken out of the apartment, I will lose my job. She starts to perceive that, God, I have no money to pay the mortgage, I will be taken out of the apartment, I will lose my job, something like that. If a thought enters a woman's mind and she starts to think about it and focus her attention on it, and to connect this thought with all circumstances, life events, and people who are somehow involved in this process, or may be involved. Even unfamiliar people, for example, will come, harass, and take away the housing. Thus, the woman triggers a scenario for the realization of what she has imagined right now. She makes a mountain out of a molehill. A woman's strength lies in the fact that, at the level of information and her attentive participation, she first makes a mountain out of a molehill on a subtle level, and this elephant immediately begins to manifest in the space of possibilities, meaning scenarios are triggered somewhere in the lives of other people who will participate in what she has imagined. And this will happen without fail. And the more a woman concentrates on her desire or her fear on any thought, the greater the likelihood that it will happen, because her life energy is responsible for the materialization of things that exist in nature. Just as a seed that falls into Mother Earth unfolds its potential thanks to her energy and grows into a plant that bears fruit, so too does a seed, which is like information that enters a woman's mind. If a woman develops this idea within herself as a need, intention, fear, or desire, it doesn't matter how. If she actively participates in this, it will happen without fail. That is why we live in nature, where not every seed becomes a tree. Mother Earth is so wise that she does not nurture every seed. She selects the seed, she nurtures the strongest seed. Our egg cell is so wise that it does not allow all sperm to enter it. It does not let in the fastest and strongest. It does not let in the weakest. It allows in the one who is in the middle, who can go for a long time, persistently, and carry their results throughout life, like information in the child's body. Mother Earth is wise, and she knows what to embody. A woman, an unwise woman, embodies in her life everything that has entered her head. She thinks so much unnecessary, unimportant, worthless, moreover, complex, difficult, heavy, irrational in her little head, and spends all her energy trying to avoid it. But in reality, she does everything necessary for it to begin. That is why, my dear women, in 2025 your power will multiply, because Mother Earth has awakened, and she gives energy to her daughters so that they can embody in their lives everything they desire, and so that only the best dreams, the best intentions, and the best needs are realized in your life. It is very important for there to be order here, for silence and wisdom to reign in your head, and for you to selectively spend your energy only on those things, events, and circumstances that are truly valuable, important, and interesting to you as life events and a prosperous life reality. And for this, you need to discipline your mind, develop your emotional, spiritual, and mental intelligence, and do everything necessary for your mind to obey you, so that fears do not overwhelm you, and so that you can easily choose the thoughts you would like to think. You would not need to get rid of the thoughts that scare you. And all of this can be done in the simplest way if you know how your internal system, your inner world, works.